Looks like the weatherman's going to be good to us all through Turkey Day week. So we decided to start this week's Explore Tulsa with the biggest of all fishing stories.
Then a Tinseltown explosion of holiday spirit.
Followed by more on the hook.
Plus a classier class.
Hi there, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. We're excited to have you here again for another episode of Explore Tulsa. Now, Stevie, do you remember your first fishing rod and reel?
I sure do. It was 1982, a Mickey Mouse Zebco rod and reel.
Wait, weren't you in college then and a little old for a kid's rod and reel?
I used mine on campus. I'd put a $20 bill on the end of the line and reel it in when someone tried to pick it up.
Well, that's a good fishing story, but the best comes from right here in Tulsa at the Zebco home office.
The name Zebco is short for Zero Hour Bomb Company. In '49, it was a bomb company that made a few fishing reels on the side. And by the time you get to the mid-50s, it was a fishing reel company that made a few bombs on the side. In 1956, somebody finds out that Dwight Eisenhower likes to fish. Everybody's salivating at the thought of a photograph of the commander-in-chief holding our product. So they shove one in a box, send it off to the White House. The problem was the return label still said Zero Hour Bomb Company on it. So the guy in the mailroom, "It's a bomb!" Splash, call the bomb squad. Yeah, right after that, the name changes to Zebco. So R.D. Hull came up with the closed face reel. He went to the butcher shop one day. It's, as far as we know, a true story. And in 1948, the clerk is wrapping in butcher paper his order and grabs some line off of a fixed spool and ties it up. And R.D. looks at the spool and goes, you know, if I design a fishing reel that does that, it'll never make a knot in the line. So he goes home and, just like anyone else would have, nails a Folgers coffee can lid to a piece of scrap plywood. And somebody says, well, you should go over to your watchmaker. You should go to the bomb company. R.D. says, well, maybe I've got something for you. And he shows them the coffee can lid. And they said, that's a fine idea. Come back when you have a fishing reel. So he comes back a month later with a fishing reel that's inside a beer can. Anybody can do this. The picture of the guy with the monkey, and the monkey can cast. So instead of just the man going fishing on the weekend, it's the whole family. And that's the really huge change that R.D. Hull made to fishing. The reels were always called Zebco, although the first reel, the standard, if you turn it over and look at the stamp on the bottom of the foot, it says Zero Hour Bomb Company. It was at Getz and the Carter brothers would sell these things anywhere they were. I mean, on street corners, for heaven's sakes. And what they do is set up a great big, like, vinyl mat with a target on it, and you cast at this thing. The casting plug hits it, no backlash, see? Anybody can do this. What most people don't realize is that reel was $17.50 in 1949. And if you look at the present value of money, that's a $175 reel today. Well, the buzz was, they're great. You should be using these. They don't break. They don't give you a problem. So when you go to the lake, you concentrate on the fish, not the tackle. And that's the real key to it all. Certain kinds of fishing tackle, like these, you're going to spend possibly a considerable amount of time dealing with this instead of the fish. And that's why you're at the lake, isn't it, for the fish? By the time you get to about 1960, you could buy them at Sears. You know, places like that too. The Carter brothers would sell these things to anybody and everybody. That was their mission as sales reps. In 1969, in this building, we made 7,200,000 reels, all by hand. We got good at this stuff.
That would be so cool to have a $1 million idea while standing at the butcher shop.
R.D. Hall was quite the innovator, and later in the show, we'll learn more about how Zebco grew and how they continue to make fishing fun and easy for all.
Zebco fishing rod and reel, gotta put that on the Christmas list. That's a great Christmas idea this year.
Well, if you're wanting to get into the holiday spirit, you won't have to go any further than our next stop.
The Prairie Brewpub is on Santa's very nice list this year, and they're next with more Explore Tulsa.
When I listen to music, I close my eyes and it takes me away. Anytime we bring a new speaker into the studio, we tune the speaker for the room. Every room sounds different, and every environment that the speaker goes into affects the sound of the speakers. Now you can do the same thing at home that we do in the studio. I can think of no better feeling than to close your eyes and disappear into the music.
Come hear for yourself at Video Revolution.
Take charge of your health. We are what we put into our bodies.
We approach medicine from a unique standpoint. Rather than treating only the symptoms of an illness, we work to find the root cause and promote wellness of the entire body.
Our clinic offers complete assessment and treatment programs, including hormone replacement therapy, osteopathic manipulative therapy, and genetic DNA testing. It all starts with a medical evaluation.
Contact us today to begin your path to wellness.
Hi, I'm Anna Rutherford, and I'm a professional artist, and you're watching Explore Tulsa.
Hello, and welcome back for more Explore Tulsa. Now, Stevie, when do you start putting up all your Christmas decorations?
Trish, you don't just put up Christmas decorations. You strategize and plan, and starts all the day after Christmas when all the lights go on sale.
That is such a guy thing, to go all Clark Griswold for the holidays.
I take that as a compliment, but this year it's going to be hard to beat the amazing job Polly and Candace did at the Prairie Brewpub downtown.
Looking at movies and you see those cozy little feelings. There was a bar on the East Coast that was a really small bar, and they did it up strong like this. And again, I said, what happens if you just put it under a magnifying glass and then blew it up? And that's what we did. And we literally did not hold back at all. I mean, you look up, you cannot see the ceiling in any way. We wanted to be the first real true brew pub that looked brew pub-y, if you will, because I've seen a lot of them in Colorado, and we traveled down to California, went up and down the coast, and we looked at just different things that had a brew pub feel, where some of them are just restaurants, and they serve beer, and then that, which is nothing wrong with that. But with this, we felt, let's do something all about brewing beer. So even behind you is it's a big beer barrel blowing up. What we pour the beers on the tap over here, all 20 taps, it's called a fooder. It's what you brew beer in originally in 1920s. So we made that into our tap system. So everything has that pub feel to it. Our menus actually evolved very strongly. We have, again, as I told, we have our Barn Grill and Roosevelt's, and Prairie has its own niche. We tried to make things match the beer and match the wine and pair it up with the drinks. So some of our top items are, we have the Mac and Chase, which is named after Chase, who invented Prairie. We put our own sirloin beef tips inside of the mac and cheese, and it's unbelievable. Then we have our tenderloin, incredible. Our pan-seed scallops, it's unbelievable. We feel every dish we have is fresh. All our fish is flown in fresh daily from Bodine's. So everything we do is all made from scratch and done very well. It was another vision we had, and I've had it for over 10 years, just visiting around, that I've seen small restaurants try to do things. I said, what happens if you just gave up the budget, you turned over the checkbook, and you said, make something incredible, one time, spend the money on it, you'll have these decorations forever. And that's exactly what we did.
Well, it was actually like 2 years ago that Paulie approached me, and so he was supposed to call me before Christmas to do some of his restaurants. Well, he called me in January, and so we got together and talked, and I still had my stuff up at my house. So he came and looked at it, and on his way he told me to look up a couple of places that he wanted to like really do for his restaurants. And so when I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh. And he looked at my house and knew that I was the person to do it.
We didn't hold back. Even as we were doing it, we wound up buying out 2 Macy's. We went down to market. We bought over 4,100 lineal feet of garland. Inside, there's 13,000 icicles hanging from you. There's over 15,000 ornaments hanging.
Several different kinds of ribbon, probably 50 yards of ribbon.
We wanted to fill in every hole, and the actual feel we're going for is like you're underneath the Christmas tree. We want that warm feeling of you're the gift, and this is what the gift feels like when you're underneath the tree.
It took us 9 weeks. This is week 9 right now, and we are done. But we did have somebody yesterday that thought we did it all yesterday. I was like, no. 9 weeks and probably like 1,100 work hours of everybody that worked together.
I tried to stay away as long as I could, and then when I came in and they were about 3/4 of the way done, and they plugged it in, I said, it's really happening. Like, this is really gonna happen. And then we kept, even though most people would have been happy, we kept adding and kept adding and kept adding until we finally finished.
It was a great first meeting when I first met him and he gave me the idea or told me what he wanted to do. It's a little mind-blowing, but he was very passionate about what he wanted and how he wanted it to be done. And now we're 2 weeks overdue because we just keep adding more.
Truly, I want them to come back and say, it gives you such a warm feeling. You want to go there, not just as a regular restaurant, but for a holiday drink. Even if you come and sit at the bar, if you come and have a great meal. I don't want you to come one time over Christmas. I want you to come several times. I want you to take people in here and say, you have to see this. It'll blow your mind. And no one has walked in here and been disappointed. Everyone has been overwhelmed. You cannot be underwhelmed when you come in here.
It's definitely a labor of love, and I couldn't have done it without my team of helpers, and so it's a dream project for sure.
I want to keep giving this gift forever because I want it to be a tradition where people come back every Christmas and cannot wait to see it again.
That Paulie Sorrentino is so much fun to hang out with. No wonder his restaurants are so popular, and I loved all the decorations.
If you're looking for Christmas spirit, stop in at the Prairie Brewpub downtown at the corner of Main and Cameron, or visit them online to learn more at prairiepub.com.
Trish, did I tell you about the time I caught this huge fish with a Christmas tinsel and a hamburger?
That sounds like a very made-up fishing story. So how about we go back to Zebco and hear more about what it takes to make everyone's favorite reel when we return with more Explore Tulsa.
The oils generally consumed for cooking, like vegetable and canola oil, aren't exactly good for your health.
One of the most important factors to consider when choosing a cooking oil is the temperature at which an oil undergoes oxidation, also known as its smoke point.
When an oil reaches its smoke point, the molecular structure can be changed into compounds that are dangerous to consume.
As a rule of thumb, the more refined the oil, the higher the smoke point.
4 healthier cooking oil choices are coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, and ghee.
Download our free smoke point chart for exact temperatures these oils and others undergo oxidation at sherwoodwellness.tv.
Earlier on Explore Tulsa, we learned all about the beginnings of the Zebco reel.
So now we thought we'd share with you what it takes to make the reel that so many Americans count on as their favorite part of their fishing tackle.
This company is 68 years old. In 2019, we'll celebrate our 70th anniversary. To date, we have sold close to 400 million rods and reels, and generally we've been averaging well over 6.5 million reels per year. So certainly if you look at the US population of 350 million, we have sold at least a rod and reel to almost everybody.
I think R.D. Hall was an extremely curious man. He saw an opportunity, and he was able to marry that with a company that needed an opportunity, and he didn't stop until they made it successful.
I think R.D. would be pleased because about 18 years ago, we became a privately held company again. And being a privately held company allows you to think longer term, and you're not thinking about quarterly shareholder expectations. and it allows the freedom to be able to go out and design things for the long term and do things for the long term as opposed to the short term. And that's the way it was when RD was here. It was more of let's do it right than do it quick.
What we do here is we support and drive the research and development group and look for new technologies. But we basically, we support the engineering group, and we also do a lot of research and development on new technologies and materials. We also support the quality group so that we can make sure that all the products go out are kids safe, family friendly, and last years, in something that people love to do.
Quality control is important. We have quality control in the factory, and we have quality benchmarking where we test our own products as well as competitors' products. And the tolerances are there. You're trying to be able to accelerate the usage of the product in the lab by having machines test thumb buttons, test handle cranks, test the drags, test the gear endurance and all.
So essentially we have designed a lot of automated testing that simulates functions within a reel. And functions that directly affect the consumer experience. You have a drag on a reel that controls the amount of line tension in the fish fight. You have a casting mechanism that allows you to make that cast and retrieve that cast. And then, like I said before, just a retrieve section where you just turn the handle and wind in the load. So all this equipment was developed to cycle functions within a reel that no angler could ever put on a reel in a lifetime, so that we can know in a few weeks how it holds up.
But you also have field testers, you cannot divorce that from the human element. So we have a staff of field testers who, everybody wants that type of job. They want to be fishing all the time. And we have people that essentially live in Florida or live places where their job is to test the products and write reports about it. So that you get that human element as well as the technical. Zebco is a part of United States culture. Just this week, the CMA Awards were on, and there were 2 songs that use Zebco in the lyrics. Brad Paisley has a brand new song out using Zebco.
Night crawlers, crickets, and a Zebco 33.
We did a survey here about a year ago. We had actually, during a United Way fund drive, we had a country music concert in here, and it was all about a singer who had used Zebco, talked about Zebco and going fishing. And I think a lot of families, everybody starts off with a Zebco, and so it's pretty much synonymous. When you start fishing, you got to get yourself a Zebco. The future for Zebco is Zebco will always be here. The issue that we face as a society is that there are many more options for today's youth and today's families in terms of time management. And so therefore, the outdoors is where we want people to reconnect to the outdoors. They're not always going to be that pure fishermen. They're going to be outdoorsmen. And how do we make fishing a part of the outdoors? We're not in an industry where we're going to save a life or cure cancer, but our job is to connect people with the outdoors and let them have fun. And that's what it's all about.
I had no idea it took all those engineers and creative types to create a great fishing experience.
To learn more about RD Hall and the Zebco company, visit zebco.com.
I just happen to know a great place for companies like Zebco to recruit future geniuses.
Oh yeah, the Oklahoma School of Innovation and Experiential Learning is taking a whole new direction when it comes to preparing kids for the future.
And we'll learn all about it next when Explore Tulsa continues.
Sony and Video Revolution take you there. From space travel to world championships. Tomorrow's technology today. 4K smart TVs and the largest flat screens available. Now more than ever, you have the best seat in the world when history is made. Video Revolution. On the northwest corner, 71st and Lewis.
Hi Hi there, it's good to see you back with us for more Explore Tulsa. Now for most kids, this week is a short school week as we all get ready for Thanksgiving.
Which is pretty exciting for most kids, but I bet the kids at the Oklahoma School of Innovation and Experiential Learning don't feel the same. They're enjoying learning and putting to work all that they learn.
Jason Arent had a dream and he's putting it to work in a way that is sure to impress you.
Back I'd say about 10 years ago, I was sitting in my graduate level class and they asked me, where do you see yourself in 10, 15 years? And I said owning my own school or running my own school. I've been an educator for 19 years and I've taught in Texas, Puerto Rico, and my home state of Oklahoma. I've learned a lot from all the different schools where I've taught. And when I was in Puerto Rico, I told myself I wanted to come home and invest my talents with the kids here. I love teaching at my school here in Bixby and in the Tulsa schools, but I always thought there was something that I could add to the school system. And that's what came about right here. My daughter attends this school, my son attends the school, and I wanted them to be as prepared as possible for the shift in the economy, jobs that are going to be available. And I really, I wanted them to love education again. I wanted them to go to school and enjoy going to school. And so I decided to take all these great things I've seen in the different areas and put it all together in one to meet the needs of these kids. The name of the school is the Oklahoma School of Innovation and Experiential Learning. And it's a experiential / STEM school here in South Bixby. Here's what I really pride our school on. The students that are admitted based on self-discipline. They're not admitted due to academics. They're not admitted because of how much money they have. They're not admitted to anything else but the fact that they have self-discipline. I believe that with self-discipline, you can achieve anything. We have kids currently working on, we have a group that's working on a drone that they are able to fly, and someone who, let's say someone is hurt but they can't be reached, they fly this drone and land it or crash it next to the person, and the drone is made up of survival necessities like water purification tablets, splints, fire starter, thermal blanket. We have a group, last year they entered a competition. They developed a padding that would help reduce the amount of concussions in football helmets, using football helmets.
I'm part of a group that's working on finding a way to diagnose CTE or chronic traumatic encephalopathy before death. It's found mostly in football players and soldiers when there are repetitive hits to the head, and so this protein called the tau protein, which is already in the brain, it starts to clump up and it kills your brain cells. Currently, the only way to find if someone had it is an autopsy after death. And so what my group is trying to do is figure out a way to diagnose it before these people die.
We have students who are working on designing a couch that if a flood hits, like we saw in Houston, the couch can change into a flotation device, such as a raft. So what we do is we apply we apply research and data and creativity, and we do something with it.
We're doing it for Blue Thumb, so we wanted to do something to help out our community and with the environment, so we just asked them if we could help at all, and they gave us this assignment. Right now we're looking for just like pollution and any harmful substances in our stream that could kill the plants or animals or fish.
Once a month we go to a local creek, we monitor the creek for pollutants, and then we report to the state. So we have that. We have kids who are working on robotics. They've been working with their Lego Mindstorms. They're getting into the level where they're designing a robot that can go into crawl spaces and take video and pictures. We have kids who are building race drones from scratch.
We go into this program called Beta Flight, and what it does is basically like you see each motor and you can kind of like program like the speed of it and stuff and like which direction it's going, all that.
We have a few students who have developed a green room. You can see them do computer programming.
We are working on Scratch. It's a coding program. Right now I'm working on a project called Trail of Tears, and I'm just showing the Indian removal and coding all that.
I've always loved teaching, always. I've never wavered in that arena. I've enjoyed going to work every day. Now I work a lot more, but it doesn't feel like work. It feels like a hobby. It's very rewarding, so yeah.
If I'd have gone to a school like that, I'd probably be president of some big company or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that Jason will let you stop in and study with the rest of the kids. If you'd like to learn how to get your child involved, visit osiel-bixby.org.
I was really impressed with those girls that were on the couch working so hard on their project.
Oh yeah, because they knew computer code so well.
No, because they were able to keep working. If I'd have been studying on the couch, I'd be taking a nap.
Oh, stick around. There's more Explore Tulsa just ahead.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get one pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99, or my two-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
Be sure and join us next week on Explore Tulsa when we visit with the Jinya Ramen Bar at 2nd and Elgin downtown.
Special thanks to Clint, John, and Joe for sharing the story of J.D. Hall and the Zebco company with us.
Thanks to Paulie Sorrentino and Candace Hall for bringing in the Christmas spirit in such a big way for all of us at the Prairie Brewpub.
Plus thanks to Jason Aaron for bringing his dream of teaching alive at the Oklahoma School of Innovation and Experiential Learning.
Remember, if you miss any of the show, you can always catch us at exploretulsa.com.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
And hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook and share with us someone you think Tulsa should know more about.
Plus remember, Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop by, say hello to Ron and all the guys for all your home entertainment needs.
And Explore Tulsa is also proudly brought to you by Dr. Robert Zollner and Associates.
Home with Tulsa's best eye care value with 2 locations, 3016 South Harvard and 69th and Memorial.
And we welcome our newest sponsors, Doctors Mark and Michelle Sherwood at 61st and Sheridan.
Remember, your journey to whole body healing and wellness begins with the Functional Medical Institute.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we'll see you next week right here on Explore Tulsa.